Not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist. You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain, because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our coming. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isob. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy. Because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you. By the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all this we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. He said,
welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on this very program today. I say happy weekends to every one of you that is joining me, wherever you are joining me from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. I appreciate you all that have joined, wherever you are joining from, and I wish you a very, very happy weekend. If you are watching from Biafra land, my special thanks goes to you. I appreciate you and I thank you so much for joining. Please, as you join, kindly like and share the program. Share the program on your platform. Share it to family and friends. Share it to even our enemies. Share it to them so that they can get the information from us, so that they can hear our own side of the story and know what we believe and what we are pursuing. Ututu Oma, my brother Raphael Hannah, thank you so much, Raphael. Ututu Oma, thank you so much. So I appreciate everyone that has connected, wherever you are connecting to this very program, any place you are connecting from. If you are joining from Biafra land, from Asia, from Europe, from America, from Australia, from Canada, from New Zealand, whichever part of the world you are joining this program from, I say may Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide you, protect you, secure you, and give you more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Today we have come once again, as we all agreed, as we all generally agree, that we are going to continue to sit at home until our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is released. Today is another day of sit at home. It is a weekend, and in this weekend of sit at home, I believe, even if you have not been part of it, in this weekend you are going to be part of it. This time is not a time of merriment. It's not a time of partying. Every one of us have to know that our nation called Biafra is at war. The Zoological Republic of Nigeria has brought war upon our nation. And if you are watching us for the very first time, I want you to know that this very message is coming from the original IPOB that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu established. The IPOB that is consistency personified. The IPOB that is white and whiter than white. That is where you are hearing this message from. Today, that IPOB of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have transformed and owned the Biafra Republic government in exile, under the guidance of our Prime Minister, Mazen Simon Ekpa, and on the leadership of our Supreme Leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That is where we stand. Speaking the truth always. We don't come here to be politically correct. We don't come here to paint world. We come here to say it exactly the way it is. We come here to debunk every lie against our Prime Minister, every lie against the Biafran people, every lie against our Supreme Leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Every blackmail against us, we debunk it here. And most importantly, we gather here to encourage each other about the way forward. We don't come here to castigate people. We don't come here to attack people. We don't come here to preach lies and hate. No. What we preach here is love. The way forward for us to be able to hold our ground, to support Biafran people, encourage them to continue to focus on their freedom, which is their legitimate right. The Biafran people are freeborn. We are not slaves, and we will never accept slavery in any form or shape. That is why we come here on daily basis to broadcast. That is our main purpose, our main reason of coming here to broadcast on daily basis. So if you are joining us for the very first time, relax. You are going to enjoy this program. As long as your heart is clean and pure, you are going to enjoy it. If there is any confusion you are having, by the end of this program, your mind will straighten up. But if you are one of those who have sold his or her soul to the devil, you cannot survive on this platform. After this message, is either you change or your situation will get worse. But I pray that this very message will bring a change into your life. If you have not been following the right path, at the end of this message, you are going to follow the right path. As I was saying before, I went to the introduction back. Today is a sit at home, as we all agreed. Every Biafran will come together and we decided that we are going to lock down Biafran land until our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is released. Who is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? You and I know who Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is. And for those who didn't know him, who are coming here for the very first time, or for foreigners, our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, a section of the contraption called Nigeria, who has their independence in 1967. Nigerian government came upon them, fought against them, and committed genocide against them. After much, they said, no victor, no vanquish. that we should come back together. But from that very time we came back together, every single promises they made, they have broken. They have not kept any promise. Instead, they have intensified on the attack on the Biafran people. They have intensified on the intimidation against Biafran people. They have intensified on the loss of life of Biafran people. That is why finally, Chukwu Okekabema chose our spring Damazin Nandekano to speak for us and make sure that we get out of that Egypt. They could not be able to handle it, and they went ahead and connived with some of the saboteurs among us, and they kidnapped Mazen Nandekano. After the kidnapping of Mazen Nandekano, in Kenya, he was tortured for good 8 days. After the torture, they sent him to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition, which is against international law, a crime against humanity. Even in those illegality and those crimes, they still took Mazen Nandekano to their court. In their own court, our supreme leader, Mazen Nandekano, defeated them hand down. He defeated them. The judges were the judges of the Zoological Republic. Judges working for the Zoological Republic, 3 of them unanimously said that Mazen Nandekano is innocent. He should be let go. But after this pronunciation, the contraption called Nigeria have disobeyed their own law, they have disobeyed their own court. And they continue to incarcerate Mazen Nandekano. For more than 2 years now, he has been under solitary confinement in the hand of the Zoological Republic. That is why today the Biafran people have decided that enough is enough. Because we have seen that nobody can make a case for us. Nobody is standing for us. Nobody is speaking for Mazen Nandekano. Neither is anybody speaking for you or me. Nobody can make our voice heard. The international community is silent about it. Mazen Nandekano is a citizen of the UK. He traveled with the UK passport. UK themselves have become silent in the matter. Instead, every one of them is busy pursuing their own interests and strengthening their bilateral relationship with this criminal country called Nigeria. That is why it was done on us that we have to do something to free Mazen Nandekano. And today, we have chosen the most peaceful way to set Mazen Nandekano free. The most peaceful means of airing our opinion, which is civil disobedience. In that civil disobedience, we choose sit at home as the first one. And we have been implementing that sit at home until we get to the stage we have to intensify that sit at home to make sure that we speak from the angle of strength and not from the angle of weakness. That was why the whole Biafrans have finally gathered together to take the pain. We decided to keep our businesses aside, keep ourselves indoor, to let the world know that 99% of Biafran people are in solidarity with Mazen Nandekano, and there's nothing they can do than to release him. That is why we are locking down Biafra land. The lockdown of Biafra land has started, and today is another day of that lockdown. And I bet you, any place you are in Biafra land, you know what to do. Do not endanger your life. Do not like to try to be a hero. Do not give yourself as a blackmail against the IPOB. Do not submit your life as a blackmail against our Prime Minister Mazi Samanepa. Do not give your life as a blackmail against Mazen Nandekano himself. Do not permit that. That is why you must obey every single instruction that is given to you, because it is meant to keep you safe. It is meant to save your life. It is meant to make your voice heard. For every single step you see us taking, for every word you hear us say, for everything we do, we are doing it for the benefit of the Biafran people, for 70 million Biafrans who has been tortured on a daily basis, who has been dehumanized on a daily basis, whose rights have been denied on a daily basis. And we say we can no longer continue to go to that path where people will continue to play on our intelligence. And today, we have taken the bull by the horn. We lock down Biafra land, and that will not be the end of it. If at the end of the lockdown they refuse to release Mazen Nandekano, we are going to take it a step further. Our Prime Minister already have announced the next step we are taking, and we are going to take it until everything in the zoo collapses. We will not only free Mazen Nandekano, we will get our referendum and we'll go back home. We will separate from the Zoological Republic. It is going to happen this year. It's going to happen this year. So what you have to do is to strengthen yourself. Be at alert at all times. Don't get discouraged or don't get distracted. No matter what you see, no matter what you hear, don't get distracted. A lot is happening and more are going to happen. I bet you if you pay attention, at the end of the day, you have every reason to glorify Chukwu for his wonderful work. Today, you can see it is becoming very clear. Those who are the enemies of their people, for a very long time, our supreme leader, Mazen Nandekan, have tried to bring these enemies to the public. He have tried to expose these enemies, but most of us did not pay attention. Some of us were not taking him serious. We were not taking him serious when he was making the expositions, telling us about the criminals, those who are enemies of Biafra. Some of them are our friends, some of them are our pastors and GOs, some of them are our benefactors, some of them are people that we trust, some of them are our parents. But today, every single one of them that is enemy of Biafra, they can't hide anymore. They are now coming in the open. They are now coming from all corners. They are revealing themselves. And that is the work of Chukwu Kariam. The work that Chukwu Kariam is doing today through our Prime Minister, Master Simon Ekpa, who has come to the new dimension. One of the responsibility and job of the new dimension is to expose every hidden criminal. All those people who have been hiding and working against us, they can't hide anymore. You can see them today. They are all in the open. Starting from Ifanyoba. Ifanyoba from the origin has always been an enemy of the people. Fighting underground. Selling out his own people. For the sake of money. He sells out the opportunity. Every opportunity he has, he betrays his own people. Our student Martin warned us about him, but people didn't pay attention. But today, he's no longer acting underground. He's now walking in the open to challenge and attack his own people. Look at one of the Reverend Fathers that just spoke recently. Somebody who is supposed to be a man of God, who is supposed to be seeing far, who is supposed to see reality. That man, I have never ever seen him in any video where he was talking about the kidnap of the herdsmen, the kidnap of the terrorists, the Fulani attack on Biafra land. I have never heard him say anything about it. There are so many things that have been happening in Biafra land that man is supposed to address. The burning of houses and the killing of innocent people in Biafra land, that man has never addressed it. All of a sudden, he mounted the pulpit in his own church and he was talking about our Prime Minister, calling him names. Calling him names. A man that has a questionable character himself. Even though he called himself a priest, he thinks that wearing a robe makes you perfect. Wearing a robe does not make you a clean man. Wearing a robe does not make you innocent. Wearing a robe cannot confuse us. Our senses are still intact. If you think by wearing a robe you can propagate lie, and Biafran people will believe you, you will meet your doom. You didn't ask question. And of course, you don't have the Spirit of God in you. That was why you could not be able to know that it is the right thing to do, right step to take. That any attack against Master Simon Ekpa is an attack against Mazen Nandekano. And every attack against Mazen Nandekano is against the project of Chukwu Kapiama in the life of Biafran people. Which means you are fighting against the will of Chukwu Kapiama. And you will never, ever challenge your God and you win. I thank Chukwu Kapiama for the Biafran people who has not allowed themselves to be played, who has never allowed themselves to be deceived, who has never yielded into the blackmail and propaganda of these monsters. Chukwu Kapiama made us a promise of our home, and the time is right. What we have to do today is to put in the work, put in the practical aspect of it so that we can be able to see Biafra in our eyes. Spiritually, Biafra has been handed over to the Biafran people. Spiritually, Biafra has been handed over to us. It is in our hands to work it out and make it a reality. And that is the path we are taking. And I bet you, in 2023, Biafra will become a reality. You will see it before your own eyes. It will no longer be an imagination. It will no longer be something you dream about. It will be a reality, something you will live in. You will live in Biafra. Every one of us that is watching, wherever you are watching, you must sit up and don't allow yourself to be deceived. Every one of us have to take a responsibility. Begin to do something for the coming of Biafra. You can see our enemies They are fighting their last battle. The fight they are engaging today is the fight of a dying horse. If you see them the way they are moving, they no longer make calculation before they strike. They no longer consider the consequence of what they say or what they do before they do it, because they are rushing in order to meet up to their target. But there is no speed they can, no way they can rush, they can be able to catch us, because we are 1,000 miles ahead of them. They can never catch up. They will never ever, they are just wasting their time. While they are trying to catch up, we are moving forward, we are moving on. And by the special grace of God, before you know it, you will find yourself in Biafra, and it will all be over. It's a promise of Chukwu Okike, which we know that will surely come to pass. It will surely come to pass. And every one of us can testify to it. We can see it coming. We can hear it. We can feel it. No matter the obstacle we see on a daily basis, no matter the hindrances, no matter the things you see, sometimes when you wake up, you look your left, you look your right, you see reasons why you quit, but yet you remain consistent because the Lord has said it. Chukwu Okike have said that we should move. Today, we the Biafran people, the original Biafran people, we do not look in the physical. We look beyond the physical. We look beyond the physical things we see. We are working based on the order given to us by Chukwu Okike. Because whenever he says, you should go, you go. One with God is majority. We have no reason to be afraid. When we have Chukwu Okike leading our battle, why should we be afraid? Why should we be afraid? When we know the person that is leading us, who will make a way where there is no way. Chukwu Okike will never allow his children to be beggars. He will never allow his children to be slaves into the hand of the uncircumcised Philistines. It will not happen. And that is why every one of us is awake 24/7, speaking up and doing that which we shall do to get out of the Zoological Republic. So every hand should be on deck. Do not get moved because of what you see the criminals are doing. They will always be there fulfilling their own destiny. That is their destiny. They are fulfilling their own destiny in the negative part, and they are going to face the consequence. That is it. You that is fulfilling your own destiny in the positive side, of course, the reward awaits you. That is how it is. There's no time you can sow rice and reap cassava. There's no time you can sow yam and reap cocoyam. Whatever you sow, that you shall reap. That is why you must be careful with everything you do. There is always a consequence for every action. For everything you do on the planet Earth, there is a consequence. If it doesn't come in weeks, it will come in months. If it doesn't come in months, it will come in a year. If it doesn't come in a year, it will come in a decade. If it doesn't come in a decade, it can come in a generation. But for everything you do on the planet Earth, there must be a repercussion. There must be a result. That is why I tell you that before you do anything, verify by yourself. Do not take action because your friend says, because it is your pastor, because you're reverend, because I said, or because anybody told you something, or based on your own sentiment. You must learn to walk according to your own word. You must bring out time to make verification by yourself. Don't be lazy about investigations. Don't be lazy about asking questions. Ask the necessary questions. Put your mind and put out your sentiment. Put out your sentiment, whether out of love for one person or the other. Just keep it aside. Straighten up your mind and then ask the genuine questions to yourself. And I bet you, Chukwu Okike will give you a response instantly. It comes like a tiny voice. If you pay attention, you will hear it. But if you don't pay attention, you cannot hear it. Wherever you are watching me from, I urge you to stand strong. We are in a very delicate time. As in we are now getting to the final stage, and this is the difficult stage. That is what we are approaching now. I urge you, wherever you are, to tighten up your belt. I have said it almost in all my program that is it going to be easy? It is not going to be easy. There's never a time Mazen Nandekan himself promised us an easy ride. There's never a time our prime minister have come on stage and say it's going to be an easy ride. It will never be an easy ride. But the joy that we have is that even before we get into the engagement, we have already acquired our victory. Chukwu Okike have fought our battle and processed our victory. What we are doing is to walk into that victory and take it. As long as we put our hope on Chukwu Okike, that is why it is very important that in everything we do, we pray and we focus. Put Chukwu Okike first, and then every other thing follows. Without that, you can't succeed. But when you have that, success is sure. The Biafran people today, we are succeeding because of our foundation. That is why we are succeeding. We are succeeding because of our foundation, nothing else. We have a solid foundation of faith in Chukwu Okike. We have a solid foundation. And because of that foundation, there's nothing anybody can do. Instead, we're waxing strong and strong and strong. Every challenge you bring to us, we jump it and we pass it. And it will continue to be so. There's nothing anybody can do because that is what we have enjoyed in the hand of Chukwu Okike, the grace he has bestowed upon us. And no man can take away that grace. We are the children of Chukwu Okike, the chosen people. We are the royal priesthood, and there's nothing any man can do. You can't change it. Chukwu Okike said, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. I will favor whom I will favor. You can't question him. You cannot question him why he has made the Biafran people his favorite. With all our stubbornness, with all our stubborn head, yet he chose us. He called us his own. Every one of us have to stand strong and stand firm. Do not lose your faith. Do not lose your stronghold on Chukwu Okike. He is the author and finisher of our faith. Whatever you do, put him first. Remember, our student Mazen Nan can always say it. That's why I don't joke with Mazen Nan. They can. Because in every of his broadcasts, he gives that assurance that it is Chukwu Okike that leads him. That is why he made the pronunciation openly and tell you that I do not worship idol. I don't worship idol. No matter what you call the name of the idol, no matter what it is, I do not worship idol. I worship Chukwu Okike and I live it in heaven. That is the word of Mazen Nandikan. Every time you see him, he prays. Casting all his burden upon Chukwu Okike. And he has been victorious. He has never failed. And he will continue to win. He will continue to, no matter what the enemy is, he will continue to win. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect every single one of us that is there. As we are going to the end of the sit at home, every one of us should prepare very well. We are getting to the third stage. Today is a total lockdown in Biafra land. Total lockdown. Total and absolute lockdown. And I appreciate every Biafran for your cooperation. Biafrans, you are amazing. Excellently amazing. We had a great success in this visit at home. And we had our break, a successful break. And because of the performance of the people, you had the broadcast of our Prime Minister yesterday. Because of the great performance of people, our Prime Minister have also relaxed Sunday. Our Prime Minister relaxed Sunday, that Sunday will not be a sit at home. You can go to your businesses. If you are one of those that go to businesses, if you are going to church, you go to church. Any place you want to go on Sunday, you can go. And he did that because of the cooperation, the support that the Biafran people gave to him against all the blackmail and propaganda. He relaxed. He sits at home on Sunday until on Monday before we continue. So we have 2 days break. Yesterday was break. Today is a total lockdown. Tomorrow, being Sunday, is going to be under break. Then we get to the final stage, which is Monday. The Biafrans are ready to go. We are all hungry for freedom. The hunger for the freedom of Biafran people is open. It can't be hidden. And I can't help than to ask Chukwu Okike to continue to bless, guide, protect, and give us that strength to be a winner. No matter what the enemy does, no matter their blackmail and propaganda, no matter where they come from, we will definitely overcome every single one of them. Are they going to attack us? They are going to throw different kinds of stone to us. They will throw different kinds of things at us to make sure that they weaken us. But do not allow yourself to be weakened. You have to show them that you are strong. So that when they think you are going down, they will see that you are going up. Every one of us must stand strong and stay firm. Don't allow any obstacle to push you down. Don't allow any blackmail to limit you. No matter what you see or hear, remain consistent and focused. We are destined to succeed. We are destined to succeed. We are destined to be on the top, not below. And not only that we are destined, we are working towards it. We have been working graciously towards it. And we cannot be able to go down now. We can't go down. Chukwu, who gave us this assignment, will not allow us to fall aside. Excuse me. He will not allow us to fall aside. He is going to give us the same strength for us to overcome. He gave the project, and he's going to provide what we are going to use to succeed. No blackmail, no amount of blackmail can make us change what we know and say we do not know it anymore. The criminals who call themselves lawmakers in our side, the politicians, more especially the governors, you have seen them at every given opportunity, they will begin to preach lie to the people. Even in the sit at home, when they see that sit at home is obvious, they send their blackmailers to come and blackmail people, yet it didn't work. It didn't work. Look at recently, they paraded some people, they went and paraded some people and said that they are people, the people who are unknown government with red clothes. And they were showing us their back. This is how they waste the life of innocent people. Most innocent Biafrans. They will tie some cases on them, cases that doesn't have anything to do with them, they will tie it on them. Some of them, they will just promise them to agree that you committed this crime, and later they're going to free you. And sometimes they will never free you. It is so sad. It is so sad. We must not continue to allow this to happen. Any place you are watching me from, please, I beg you in the name of Chukwu Gabiao, do what you can do for Biafra. Do what you can do for Biafra. Coming out of Biafra is to save life. Biafra is a place where the people that have been oppressed will run into and they will be saved. Every one of us have to prepare. We must encourage each other and fight along with one another and make sure that we carry this gospel to the highest level. The responsibility falls on our shoulder to restore Biafra. It is not just on Master Simon Ekpa alone. It's not just on Master Nandekano. Every single one of us as Biafrans, we have a responsibility to fight and make sure that Biafra becomes a reality. And when you see what is happening, you will now begin to understand that Biafra is a project of Chukwu Gabiama. With all the attack, all the obstacles, yet today, they cannot be able to hide their feelings. They no longer can be able to continue to talk trash. Today, you see, even in the House of Assembly, we have forced the House of Assembly today to begin to demand from Mazen Nandekano, which is the right thing they are supposed to do. For a very long time, they have been silent about Mazen Nandekano. But today, you see the House of Assembly today. They can no longer pretend. They can no longer pretend. Today, they are calling for the release of Mazen Nandekano in the House of Assembly. They are now gathering some boldness to come. And that is why you begin to wonder, what is the aim of these people who are telling us not to sit at home? What is their aim? The people that are attacking and blackmailing IPOB, what is their aim? This fake IPOB that went to Finland to blackmail themselves, what is their aim? What do they think to benefit? Even when they know that the person they are talking about is doing a marvelous job and people are watching him across the world. The whole world can testify to what he's doing. This was a man that just won an ambassador of peace. A man that just won ambassador of peace. And you think you can tarnish his image. And of course, to display their their stupidity. In the open protest, where they were using the microphone to talk, the open protest, they dare not mention Mazi Simon Ekpa, because they know his standard on that very city, a city where he's been accepted and he has no case or any committed crime against anybody. He has no case against anybody, and yet you see them open their mouth to talk trash. You see them open their mouth to begin to talk evil. But Mazi Simon Ekpa, the chosen person, Chukwukema have chosen him to redeem the Biafran people, and he must complete his assignment, no matter the obstacle, no matter the attack, no matter all the things you see coming from right, left, and center. He is going to fulfill his assignment. Chukwukema, who has brought us in that contraption, knows why he put us in that place. Your envy and your jealousy cannot stop us. Everyone is created separately. Fingers are not equal. Every single one of us on the planet Earth has a mission, have an assignment from Chukwukema. But among every one of us that have an assignment, few of us were able to discover their own assignment and pursue it. Many of us do not know our assignment on this earth. Neither do we care to know, let alone pursuing it. And you will see them, when they see somebody who is pursuing his own assignment on the planet Earth, they will be antagonizing him and fighting him. It is sad, but it's the truth. Chukwukema that gave us Biafra. Chukwukema kept us in that portion. We never allow that portion to be taken away from us. We shall overcome. No matter the attack that you see on daily basis, we shall overcome. We are going home. We are definitely going home. The grace of Chukwukema is abundant in us, and there's nothing any man can do. My only word, the thing I'm talking is that people should listen to instruction. As long as you listen to instruction, you will never ever have a cause to regret. You will never regret. Simple instruction. When you hear sit at home, sit. When you hear move, move. Whatever you hear from our Prime Minister and from all the media of Biafra Republic Desire, obey it and follow it. It is to save you, to protect you, and to give you a meaningful life. Today, the plight of the Biafran people is in the front burner. The whole world is talking about Biafra. They can't hide it anymore. They cannot hide it. Some of them try to pass through the back door, presenting all manner of speeches. But I tell you, today Biafra is speaking on the top of the world, and we cannot keep short. We cannot be bribed. We cannot be caged. In the past, some of you think that you can buy any Biafra. You can buy any Biafra. But our Spirit of Master have proved to you that there are people that are unbribable. The same way now, our Prime Minister is taking the same step. You see calls coming from right, left, and center, giving them different options. But I bet you, Master Simon Ekpa, by the special grace of God, will continue on that path of truth. As far as I know, he has stood his ground. He has maintained his stand, and he's not begging anybody. He has a good career for himself, doing very well. So that's why I tell people who think that you are not doing anything for him. Or if anything you are doing in this struggle, you are doing it for yourself. Master Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of Biafra, is fulfilling his own destiny. He is fulfilling his own destiny. You that is busy chasing him, blackmailing him, talking about him, what happens to your own destiny? Are you not going to activate it? Are you not going to ask questions? What happens to your destiny? Are you not going to ask questions before your destiny is being corrupted? They will not ask questions because of their hatred, because their heart is dark. But I tell you, those of us who are paying attention to events, we will never give up. Biafra has come to stay. Biafra is a nation, and we can never, ever, ever walk away from it. Remember when they asked our prime minister, no, when they asked our supreme leader, is there anything that can be done to change the situation? He said, no, it is too late. No, it is too late. That was why even when he's in the territory of the enemy, he continued to say, hold your ground. Biafra is not negotiable. It's not negotiable and can never ever be negotiated. All we are asking is for a referendum for us to go. We are not begging for anything. Give us our referendum. And if you don't, at the end of this very sit at home, you begin to understand. You will soon begin to understand. We don't just say things without carrying it out. Just wait and see what is going to happen as the sit at home ends. Every measure will be put in place to make sure that Biafra land is safe. Every measure will be put in place to make sure that those things that hinders you, that starts an obstacle, will no longer be there. May Chukwu Okekabiyama continue to guide and protect every single one of us that have joined this very broadcast. Wherever you join this broadcast from, I say may Chukwu Okekabiyama continue to guide and protect you. The battle is not yet over. Even in the midst of the difficulties, in the midst of the obstacles, in the midst of the propaganda and blackmail, there are still some people that has conscience. And when you meet such people that have conscience, maybe they have forgotten one or two things, you remind them, and they will fall back in line. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect every single one of us, our friends and families, every Biafra all over the world, the BNL, the PNG, may Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect them. May Chukwu Okekabiyama lead us through into our promised land. No matter what the enemy does, they will not succeed. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect the ESN, the BNL, the Biafran Liberation Army, every armed group that is ready to protect and defend Biafra land. May Chukwu Okekabiyama grant them protection and defense. May Chukwu Okekabiyama himself guide and protect all the members of the cabinet of Biafra government in exile. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect them and secure them. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect every single one of us that is genuinely fighting for Biafra. May Chukwu Okekabiyama be our guide and protect. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. May he lead him, guide him, give him mental toughness to continue to move on. May Chukwu Okekabiyama guide and protect our supreme leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We shall overcome. No matter what the enemy does, we shall overcome. No weapon formed or fashioned against the Biafran people shall prosper. No weapon formed or fashioned against our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa shall prosper. No weapon formed against any one of us in this very platform shall prosper. Thank you so much for watching wherever you're watching from. Please, if you have time, join me in the evening for my broadcast in the evening on King David Expert Expose and other platforms that I have. You can join me there on Chooks for Survivor. That is where I broadcast live stream of our Prime Minister. Every time he broadcasts, I share the live stream there and I stream it live on Chooks for Survivor page. I appreciate every one of you and I thank you so much for your audience. Thank you for paying attention for me. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. If you have not liked yet, please like, share, and I will be back again. Thank you so much and stay blessed. Bye-bye.